Happy Thursday, everyone. Roger Casey from Casey Creative here. Your source for anything print, promotional products, apparel, labels, packaging, signage, direct mail. If it has an imprint, I can help. Today, I want to talk to you briefly about strategy when it comes to promotional products. Okay, strategy. Something that gets overlooked a lot, and I know I talk about certain things about deployment, like at trade shows we talked about on Monday, things like that. Today, I really do want to talk to you about strategy. So those of you who know me well and have heard me talk before, I talk about two main things that you really want to avoid. One is the trash, the other is the drawer. Now, I could talk a lot about what that means and how, we really want to avoid the trash or the drawer and what we need to do in order to make sure that happens. But let's focus on something very important, which is that if we're going to do something that is lower cost, we don't mind as much if it goes in the drawer. So for example, one thing we do a lot of is koozies. Now, I didn't do these, but I have an entire drawer full of koozies. There are a lot of them, and they are basically all the same thing. In fact, I've had people literally asking me to take their koozies off their hands just so they won't have them anymore because their drawer is cluttered. Now, koozies are cheap enough that we don't mind, and in theory, if we get the right real estate in terms of someone actually putting a canned beverage inside a koozie, then we've done well, and that's a good thing. However, one thing that koozies don't do for just about anyone except for maybe brewers or other people who are in the canned beverages industry is they don't actually say anything that complements our brand, right? So if we are a trade or manufacturer of some kind and we do koozies, which some people might appreciate, we're not actually saying anything that's relevant to what our brand means or what we're trying to express to the client. Like for example, the other day, we had an idea to be able to, with a certain vendor that does phone systems, to include disinfecting wipes, a canister of them with each set of phones that they give away, or at least one canister per phone. That way, when someone goes to use their phone in the morning, they can wipe it down first, make sure it's disinfected, and it gives the brand nice equity on top of everything else they're doing to give the client the idea that we care as much about making sure that you are happy, not just in terms of the actual product itself, but also in terms of making sure that you are getting a little value add on top of the phone system that you bought. Bottom line is, while a lot of these kind of low dollar items that are drawer bait, as I like to call them, are good items, and there's nothing wrong necessarily with doing them, you need to be very careful that they at least have some relevance to your brand as much as possible, and that's something I can certainly help you plan. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you have more questions about it, feel free to reach out. We've got some great specials this week. I sent out the mailer on Monday. If you didn't get it and you're interested, I would love to talk with you about your brand. Just reach out and let's talk about how we can work together. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend.